Hey everybody, I am on for the Midweek Message Reveal Wednesday, June 25th. Thanks for hanging out with me, and let's talk about what's going on with the energy this week. Okay, so we've got a lot of Cancer going on. That's a lot of watery, homey energy that wants to support and soften and nurture and be nurtured. And the difficulty with Cancer is feeling like they can receive without having to do. So there's an urge maybe, or maybe even a little guilty feeling around letting yourself rest or letting yourself have or letting yourself treat yourself without making yourself feel bad about not producing or the shoulds that you put yourself under. I understand that. So that energy is kind of a little extra. So there's more of a desire for that emotional release to come through in Cancer season. It's going to allow that desire of change through transformation in a cardinal way, and that's going to allow for more opportunities for emotional release through actually crying in a lot of ways, or physically letting this pass through, where there's maybe some of you are seeking to get some massages, or maybe there's some like tight joint situation going on where there's a need for tending to yourself in a way where you might be wanting to take some more baths or spend some time in the hot tub, or allow yourself to get some heat therapy or ice therapy or whatever sort of therapy if that is occurring. Like that energy and desire to want to take care of things and to nurture the body is going to be there, and that's going to bring up some emotion around how you take care of yourself, or the fact that maybe you haven't been, or that maybe you aren't prioritizing yourself. So the new moon in Cancer happened early this morning around 6:30, and what the new moon in Cancer is bringing through is the desire for us to set better boundaries and to focus more on the self. This is inward facing energy, even though it is wanting to and is affected very much by those in the external realm. So the people that you're interacting with, those circles and cycles of personalities that you entertain or you find repeating. You might have like a different flavor of a person that like this lady Debbie. She's like a carbon copy of this chick Barb, and I swear, they have so many similarities, and I feel like I have the same kinds of problems with this person that I had with this other person, or there was just a butting of heads or things like that. So that energy is coming up, and it's kind of bringing a connection to past people and things, which makes time feel kind of stretchy and weird. And we also have the sun in Cancer as well. So the sun is asking, what is it that we are still carrying? What is it that we're still carrying that needs to be reframed? Because you've been hard on yourself. You've been pushing yourself, or making yourself feel bad for not being quicker or faster, or having something taken care of at this point. It's almost just there's a lot of what's the phrase? It's like negotiating or trying to explain your limitations, and therefore creating them in even more of a fortified way, by restating those things that you don't necessarily want but feel that you need to protect yourself from. So there's a want for there to be more compassion in how we're looking at the processes that we're going through, and the lessons that we're learning when we're trying to set boundaries and trying to flex a muscle that we haven't really been working out. And our reality is allowing us opportunities to practice. So first word of advice for everyone: don't get too deep thinking that what's in front of you is actually what's happening. A lot of this is practice and an opportunity for you to flex that muscle, an opportunity for you to choose differently in a way that maybe is not so extreme. Without paying attention to this, you run the risk of having to have something bigger and more intense for you to tackle in order to overcome this. This is not a you're bad or you better, or if you miss this, you're screwed. None of that. It's more you're already aware. even conceptually. And maybe a lot of you right now are even more aware. And now you know. And when you know better, you do better, and you can't ignore it anymore. And that's kind of the space we're in. And that sucks. And it's great because I know that while it sucks because you can't pass yourself on your own bullshit anymore, it's a leveling up that just leads to more of that, which is just good for everyone. The better you do, the better I do, the better we all do. So there's no comparison. There's no need for any of that. All right, one last thing. Mercury is moving into Leo tomorrow. And this is essentially that truth wants to be spoken out, not to push, which is Leo energy is very, look at me, I want to take over the whole spotlight, I want you to see me, and I want to be heard, and I want to be counted, and I want to be acknowledged. And it's very showy energy, very performance-based. And Mercury in Leo is asking for that performance to kind of simmer down and not be so showy and honestly say what you need. So the performance needs to be in the courage that is being vulnerable enough to say what you actually need and what you mean without any of the hyperbole or the metaphor or the dramatics or the explaining or the excuses that make this thing stand up for what it is. You simply want it because you want it and you're allowed to have it. And that's that. Duh. So Mercury in Leo wants not to push, but to clarify. It's not pushing and asking. It's not asking to inflate or to create something that is going to cause issues. It is more, I'm really trying to be very clear and honest, and that takes courage, and that takes vulnerability, and that takes me stepping into my authentic self in order to ask for what I want. And I'm going to clarify that you understand or that you are picking up what I'm putting down. And I'm not doing that because I'm wanting you to, I'm trying to intimidate you or be aggressive. That's not it at all. It is that I am standing in my confidence and that I'm being clear. And that is the energy that we're looking for here with Mercury and Leo. Okay, so that's what's going on this week. I'm going to jump into the readings here with the crystals. And I only selected two, and I appreciate the feedback that those of you gave me regarding what it is that you like, if you liked just the one or the other. And it's been kind of like that. And that vibe feels good to me, and it seems more simplistic. And I do have some other ideas for some other things. But we're going to play with this for a minute. Okay. So if you chose one, chose my like beautiful ice cream cone looking Lemurian. Oh, she's beautiful. Okay. The focus here is also on what we're dealing with as a group, with the moon kind of being the thing that's kind of pushing some things through. So as I was saying before, this inward-facing energy, we're looking for self-focus, and we're looking for being a little selfish in this sense. And that's not a bad thing. It's putting yourself first because you kind of have to. You've left yourself on the back burner for too long, and that sucks, and we're not doing that anymore. We are not here for that. We are here for growth and change. Now, connecting with your energy one, what I'm experiencing is a heaviness that's kind of in the gut, and it feels almost in the womb space. And Cancer rules the womb and the moon, and that area is very much tender. It feels almost like there's something that is yearning to be created. There's something that wants to come forth and to be seen for what it is, or to change into something different than what it has been defined as in your world. And some of this is conceptual for some of you in one. And this concept is starting to distill. It's almost like there needed to be time. And this is with this is with over the last 3 weeks. And with those 3 weeks, you've experienced different layers of shedding in this process. I'm actually seeing kind of like a banana being peeled. It's revealing something that is even more vulnerable in a sense, and also the prize in this is the vulnerability. If you look at it in that way. And what's going on as well for some of you is more a issue almost with a communication situation that's happening in your relationships, but also in friendship and in just a general being understood. There seems to be almost a like a I feel like a heaviness or like a clagginess, I guess is like the best word, in my mouth when I'm trying to speak, almost like it's difficult for me to enunciate. I have to really, I'm very aware of how the word is formed in my mouth as I'm speaking. And this attention to this focus is bringing through an energy of needing to pay really close attention to what it is you are saying, almost to the point of understanding that you could choose a different word and it would have a completely different tone. So I'm also feeling like, and I believe maybe you're hearing in my voice, I feel very slowed down. There's almost an energetic sort of pull that's coming here with one, where the interactions from others is actually very zapping and sapping. This is where the energy is trying to get you to turn inward, to take stock, to slow things down. Some of you might even be experiencing some like heat and cold fluctuations. And I know the weather is wacky. I'm talking like within yourself throughout the day, there's a change, or having more of a sensitivity in the mouth, a sensitivity in teeth and gums, jaw, and even a throat sort of thing going on with a heaviness there. And again, I am not a medical doctor. This is just energetic stuff that's kind of coming through. A lot of this has to do with the solar energy that is being expelled from the sun, and the Schumann resonance of the earth spiking and blacking out at times. Weather is crazy going on here, as we've seen, as far as especially like air events, tornadoes, earthquakes, things like that are very catastrophic and big. And there's also a lot of leaving energy, a lot of loss, and where people seem to be shifting away. And one, you're really feeling that, and that energy is heavy. And this sloughing off of self is also sloughing off of people that are connected to a version of you that you're no longer really in touch with, yet it's as if you're sitting with them right now. So you're being walked through almost. A lot of this is happening in dreams for some of you. This is also happening in waking time, like 2 to 5 a.m. There's a lot of waking hours where you're waking up in the middle of something, almost wide awake. Some of you dealing with lights in the eyes as well, and ear wee-wah kind of things going on, whispering, hearing your name, hearing phrases, or even being able to hear like a tune or something like that kind of connects you to a moment. So all of this coming online, very nostalgic, really much bringing into the self a feeling of almost collecting all of the versions of you and sitting with them and almost going through and figuring out which one still fits. And there's energetic sort of debris there, like almost like static electricity. If you were to try on a sweater in a dressing room and it was in the winter time and, you pulled it over your head, it's gonna affect everything else you put on. It's going to cling to you in some way. And that sort of energy that's coming through can bring up a lot of grief and a lot of emotions. So just be gentle with yourself there. And that's where grounding is going to be coming in. So if you need help with that, please reach out. I would love to help you along those lines, help you identify things, help you see how it is that you uniquely work with your own energy and how it presents. It'd be really cool to do that. So let me know. Moving on to 2. If you chose 2, this is my awesome trapezoidal get. Oh, so cool. Oh, I love it. Let's see the back side. Oh, yeah. Okay, connecting with your energy too. There's a desire for movement. There's been a lot of stagnant happening. I'm seeing someone on a bike. I'm seeing someone on a treadmill. I'm seeing someone on like one of those Peloton bikes. I'm seeing someone on like a stair climber. It's almost like everyone just got their shit together and put into place the stuff that they haven't been able to do for the last couple of weeks here and two. And those of you that haven't gotten to that stage, you are mentally putting that in place. So the action that is being sought here is almost as if you are moving out of that feeling, I don't feel bad for putting myself first and doing the things that I'm interested in. It's actually good for me and it's good for everyone around me because, like I said earlier, the better that you do, the better I do, the better everyone does. It's not a competition. It's actually a benefit to give to other people. And you're wanting to lean further into this, but first you have to fill your own cup. So this topping off is a period that will take a little bit of time. You're going to want to wait until a little bit after the moon is waning out. So this would be a little bit in the next couple days. So after the 30th. But the energy is going to allow more space for you to flow into bringing other people into the energy of what you want to create here, because there's a lot of people and too that are looking to collaborate, especially in some of the things that you're working on. Also, there's a desire to communicate in a different way. I'm seeing like a radio being tuned. I'm hearing people who are actually like tuning themselves, like, you know, like when you're trying to sing like you're in a video and you got your hand on your ear and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, like that. There's that kind of going on. It's almost like you're being tuned. And this tuning sort of energy is in preparation for something big to be said. And I feel very much that this connects to Mercury and Leo, which is happening tomorrow. So the desire for it to occur, I'm feeling in the shift and should be full on within the next day or so as that lands. And remember, we're not looking for performance, even though that's something that is being teased out with Leo energy. And many of you have big fire signs going on, actually a lot of fire and air happening here for those of you who picked two. And those would be in your Mercury as well as your Venus sun, as well as rising. And in those areas, there's a desire to want to have something happen fast. It's part of how you're wired. The energy is not going to be forgiving because it's going to kind of ping you right back. It wants that slow flow. So whatever you need to do in order to slow your roll, whether it's, scheduling time where you're going to allow yourself to get all excited and geeked out about some things that you want to do or have a big conversation about, just pay attention to the fact that you don't want to be steeping in all of the energy of the excitableness of what's happening next. This is the time to kind of sit in the creative space, connect to the solar plexus and connect to the sacral chakra, where you are more in tune with what brings you joy, what's interesting to you, what naturally lights you up, stuff that you're just naturally good at that someone didn't have to teach you very much, you just pick up on. That kind of stuff is going to be bringing in more of that energy. So when you feel like you're not able to see gains in the things that you're trying to collaborate on and the time isn't perfect for that collaboration to happen yet, it's kind of still in the brain space and is still working its way down into grounding. The moon is kind of flushing out some of this crap that's around it, so you have more space and it isn't so sticky funky. So you just have to kind of slow your roll there. But a way to allow yourself to still feel like you're getting your spoons and your jelly beans and getting your attaboy girls out of them, all of those things that you're looking to get those gold stars in, you can do so by leaning into the things that bring you passion and bring you joy. The hobbies that seem small, or the habits that are things that allow you to reconnect with yourself on a daily basis, are going to be what's going to bring you enough energy in a satisfying way that's similar to you getting something done that you really want to get done, but you don't have everybody on board yet. So try that out. Let me know how it goes for you. All right, so those are the readings this week, the messages this week. Would love to hear how they land for you, so please leave me some feedback. Would love to work with you, so please reach out. Check me on my website. You can hit me up in all of the places and things. Thank you for sharing and being subscribed and all of that good stuff, and for just being good to each other. So just know I'm thinking about you guys. Love you all. Hope you have a great week. Peace.